Teachers were having a real problem with Amarra. So what did they do? They made her a student mentor. Welcome to another edition of Hack Learning. It's what you can do tomorrow. I'm your host, Mark Barnes, and today we are uncut, meaning there are no show notes, and we are giving this episode to our subscribers. It will automatically funnel into their podcast feed, and if you are not a subscriber and you landed here and you would like to subscribe so you never miss an episode, please visit hacklearningpodcast.com. Find all of our episodes there, along with ways that you can subscribe in your favorite podcasting tool. In the open, I talked about Amarra, a student who was a problem child and one of those that teachers struggle with so much. And some creative teachers came up with a way to create a growth mindset in Amarra. In Hacking School Discipline, our authors talk about creating a growth mindset. They say the first step toward helping students build a growth mindset is boosting their confidence. And of course, they provide multiple ways throughout in which this can be done. And they end with a story. As we do in most hack learning books, we have the hack in action. And that is the story of Amarra, and I'd like to share it with you now. Amarra was known for her extra personality, and her voice often preceded her entrance into the classroom. No one ever had to wonder what kind of mood she was in because her facial expression, tone, and word choice left no room for interpretation. More often than not, her entrance served as a warning that it had been a long day. She was tired of the latest girl drama, though in the middle of it herself, and she had no patience left for immature boys. Most days, her teachers were an opposing army. Her attitude became her armor and her weapons, and she was not afraid to direct her daggers right at the hearts of anyone who could be a threat. Contacting her mother left little doubt about where Amarra learned her attitude, so the teachers were on their own. Restorative circles never quite made the lasting difference for which the teachers had hoped because Amarra simply couldn't buy into them. At the end of her freshman year, Amarra was invited to join a female leadership group that would serve as mentors for the next year's incoming freshmen. Most students stood aghast when they saw Amarra's name on the list. Really? Hadn't she cursed out the lunch lady 2 weeks ago? Nevertheless, she joined the ranks of the other 12 young ladies, and 3 times a week they participated in leadership development. Each young woman was charged with a special quality to model for their mentees. And anytime a new student's success was impeded by a lack of development of that skill, the new student would be paired with the mentor specialist. Amarra's area of expertise? Anger management. Even Amarra herself scoffed when she saw the qualifier next to her name. Like so many strong-willed students, though, she was determined to prove she could control her temper, even if only to prove the other leadership girls wrong. Of course, it started as an uphill battle. This is how my mama is. This is how my sister is. And this is how I will always be, she declared in those moments when the fear of falling short loomed ahead. Instead of arguing with her that she was capable of change, her teachers provided opportunities for Amarra to witness her own growth in non-threatening situations. For example, each member of the leadership team was tasked with mastering 1 minute to win it game. Amarra was assigned the classic cookie on your face game, and she failed miserably the first half dozen times. By the end of her 3rd practice session, though, she could wiggle that cookie from her forehead to her mouth in 42 seconds. Though not something she would likely list on her resume, mastering that skill did help build her confidence in her own capacity to learn. For 6 weeks, Amarra worked with the other young ladies and 2 mentor teachers, exploring strategies to hone each of their unique skills. She learned about the biology that triggered her outbursts and how simple things like deep breathing could help her regain control. At first, the best she could do was take one deep breath before flying off the handle anyway. A couple more weeks of practice, however, and Amarra could take deep breaths and express her anger loudly, but without the confetti of expletives. By the time she finished the 6-week program, Amarra was able to remove herself from most situations before getting herself into trouble. Her teachers noticed a drop in the number of referrals she received each week, and at the end of the year, Amarra celebrated the first 2-week stretch of referral-free schooling she'd had since she was in 6th grade. In her sophomore year, she served on the leadership team and was asked to take an active role in peer-led mediation. None of the strategies Amarra's teachers had to offer would have made a difference if they didn't first instill in her the belief that she could change. Setting Amarra up for success in simple tasks built her confidence. Presenting the leadership group with a challenge that they were all doomed to fail at first, but that would incite riotous laughter anyway, established the leadership team as an environment where it was safe to try, fail, and grow. Restorative discipline is rooted in the belief that involving all stakeholders in the healing process can lead to transformation among people, relationships, and communities. Before lasting transformation can occur, the person who committed the transgression must believe in one's own ability to be transformed. This starts with helping students let go of the preconceived idea that how they have been defined by others and by themselves in the past determines their limits and potential. This was the story of Amarra, a young lady who had problem controlling her anger and who believed that this is just the way that she had been and would always be. But her teachers tried something else. They helped Amarra create a growth mindset. And in doing so, they built confidence in her. They gave her a role. They made her part of a special community. And they told her she could be so much more than she ever dreamed. And she became just that. That is one incredible hack and strategy in hacking school discipline. 9 ways to create a culture of empathy and responsibility using restorative justice by Nathan Maynard and Brad Weinstein. I hope you'll give it a try. It's available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and in other places, and you can learn more about it at hacklearning.org. Thank you for listening. Please check out more episodes and subscribe to the podcast at hacklearningpodcast.com.